Hi everyone, I'm really happy to be back with this new video, and in this video I'm going to talk about a message that I have received from Mary Magdalene. I will transmit this message to you, and it is her month, the month of July. You know, on the 22nd of July it is the Mary Magdalene feast day, and you'll see that it is a message that can seem quite simple in appearance, but actually when you get into the depths of it, it's quite extraordinary. But first of all, I would just wanted to say a big thank you for all your wishes following the announcement of my pregnancy in my last video. It is really heartwarming to see all these comments and all this joy that we share with you, with this beautiful community. And the baby is arriving in September, and we can't wait to welcome it. With my pregnancy, obviously, I'm very connected to the energy of maternity. And obviously I'm very connected, and I feel their presence a lot, to Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. I have to say that in the first place I wanted to talk about Mary Magdalene and her connection with the Holy Family and all the entire journey they had after the crucifixion. They came to France, then they went to Great Britain, and something else came through. She came through with another message, so probably I'll do that video later. And the message was really about the celebration of the miracle of life. The celebration of the miracle of life. So of course, I'm actually experiencing the miracle of life in my body right now because I have a baby that is growing. And what is really extraordinary for me is to feel that I don't need to think about it. I don't need to be aware of it. I don't need to do anything. It's just this divine process that is happening in my body. So there is this creation of life happening in my body, and I'm just here, present with it, and fully, aware of this divine process. And what she was saying, Mary Magdalene, is that she was also talking about the Immaculate Conception, so that Mother Mary experienced, but she experienced too, actually. And what is the Immaculate Conception? Well, because this is something that is not always understood, it is the conceiving of a baby in pure light, which means that, certain advanced beings that came to Earth can create life, can create a baby without sexual intercourse. So only through pure light. So this is, of course, a kind of miracle, but she was saying that the fact that a man and a woman come together, and the seed of a man comes together with the egg of a woman, and when they unite, they create life. They create a new being. That is also a miracle in itself, and that we can really celebrate this divine gift that it is, the creation of life. And this is something that we can really see throughout all our experience on this earth. So it's not only through women who are pregnant. Of course, when women are pregnant, they really experience that in their bodies, but it really concerns everyone, because, and that was also a specific message that she had for certain people who feel stuck on their path, who feel that they're stagnating, or that they are living and reliving always the same things, always the same cycles, and they don't perceive change, and they don't perceive this renewal. Because what is the miracle of life? It is the fact that life is constantly renewing itself. And we know it through our bodies. Our cells are constantly renewing themselves. And I also had this vision of galaxies being created, stars being created, and this is happening just as I speak, like everything is happening simultaneously. So this miracle of life, this renewal, this energy of renewal is constant and infinite. And we can connect to that in our daily lives. So people who feel stuck, who feel they're always on the same cycle, who feel they're on this hamster wheel, and the hamster wheel is I often, associated with the samsara. So the fact that we are stuck from incarnation to incarnation and we can't get out of this samsara. So this is something that we choose, first of all, whether it's conscious or unconscious. But we can also choose differently. And there is always a sign of the universe in our daily lives to show us that there is something new happening, that there is always change happening. So for example, it might be like the small details in our daily life. Like the light on the wall, the sunlight on the wall of the room is not the same, exactly the same light that we observed yesterday. Or, of course, the water that we drink is not the same that we drank yesterday. And maybe it's not even the same taste that we are going to feel. And again, we are in this period where, the gardens are blossoming and there is full of food available for us. And for example, I love to eat zucchini flowers in the summer. And I'm always surprised and always amazed to see that, first of all, like zucchinis, they grow really easily and really fast. When I pick up the flowers, 2 days later, there are new flowers there. It's constantly renewing itself. So the garden is very abundant and renewing itself constantly, and we can really perceive that from one day to another. So it's really about the details that we perceive in our reality. If we feel stuck, maybe we feel like the guy like in the movie The Groundhog Day, when we have the feeling of experiencing every day the same scenario, the same routine, and it becomes like hell. The universe always has a sign for us that things are changing. And once we really become aware of that and we start focusing on those small changes in our daily life, then we allow this energy of change and renewal to actually expand in our reality, to expand also within ourselves, and we are moving forward. And we are really aligned with this energy of renewal. And again, we can just connect with our own physical bodies. When we hurt ourselves, when we have a wound, the body regenerates on itself. It renews itself. Even when we break a bone is actually able to recreate the cells and to repair itself again. It is all about renewal. And every day, we are a different person than the person we were yesterday. So there are always small changes happening in our daily life. And once we start really pinpointing them and focusing on them, then we allow really this energy to expand further. So to celebrate the miracle of life is actually to recognize the existence and consciousness within all that exists and the inherent quality of change and renewal that it contains, which happens through cycles. Because we have a cycle on Earth, but there is also a cosmic cycle, as I was mentioning before, when I saw these galaxies turning and being created, and these stars. Some stars die, some stars are created, and this is this constant cycle of renewal happening. And what she was also transmitting, Mary Magdalene, is that we are on Earth experiencing a great period of renewal right now. We are in a big phase of change, of course, and this big phase of change is connected to the return and the renewal of Christ within us. So it is the Christ consciousness within us, which is not something new. It existed before, but there is this form of renewal now that we are all awakening to this Christ within. And the Christ consciousness is connected to the Holy Trinity. So that's also something that came through, the importance of the Holy Trinity. What is the Holy Trinity? So there is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The Father is the Infinite Spirit. The Holy Ghost is the Divine Mother. So that is something that it has been also quite repressed, and certainly the Church hasn't transmitted that information, but the Holy Ghost is actually the Divine Feminine, because it is represented by this white dove, and the Divine Feminine is what brings the miracle of life into creation, into tangible creation. So it is, let's say, like the breath of life, the energy of life itself, the Holy Ghost. And when the Holy Ghost and the Father, so the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, come together and unite, they create the Son or the daughter, which is the Divine Child, and that is Christ consciousness. That is the Christ consciousness incarnated. So it's really interesting to see that, again, we have through this Holy Trinity really the explanation and the, let's say, the basis of our life, our lives on earth, but the cosmic life in general as well, because we can really see that the Holy Trinity is not only, you know, like a Catholic or a Christian. We can also find the same concept all over the world, notably like the Hindus, like Om Tat Sat is exactly the same principle as the Holy Trinity. So it's the Father, the Mother, and the Son, the creation, the miracle of creation, the Divine Child, that is Christ consciousness. But of course, for there to be renewal, there has to be dissolution. So renewal and dissolution are two aspects that are, you know, like inseparable. One cannot happen without the other. So what we are experiencing on Earth right now, because we are going through this immense and great period of renewal, we are also assisting the planet in this phase of dissolution. And so when we are the witness of this dissolution, whether it's within ourselves, when we let go of certain things, when certain things die within ourselves, or that we are witnessing them, you know, externally, what is happening in the world, the chaos, the suffering, the negativity, that is dissolution. But just as we see in alchemy, for transmutation, there has to be this kind of things that must dissolve in order for new seeds to be grown and this renewal to take fully place. So really the invitation right now and for the months to come is to connect with celebrating the miracle of life, that is this infinite and constant renewal, and this infinite creation also that we are witnessing. And when you connect to really the principle and the energy of celebrating, the celebration of the miracle of life, you will start feeling within yourself this joy emerging, this joy and also this wonder, you know, like, wow, the miracle of life, the miracle of creation is everywhere. We are experiencing it constantly. So by focusing on that more and more every day, it will bring us more joy, it will bring us more peace. It will also allow this energy to expand on Earth, because what we focus on expands externally, of course. That's our own, let's say, quantum experience of reality. And so we are able to welcome fully this era of total renewal. And we will all experience this return and awakening of this Christ within us, which will bring this divine Christ consciousness back on this planet. And we will all gather and unite together as divine children, the divine children of the masculine, the divine masculine, and the divine feminine through the Holy Trinity. That is, in essence, the celebration of the miracle of life. So I hope that this information really, you know, that you got this message, that you can really feel it inside you, and mostly that you will be able to connect to it in the coming months. See you soon. Sat Nam.